we are Play the Subtext, and our show is called Balancing Act.
We had this little scene that was a sort of TV debate about in the environment and pollution. And I think it just really clicked with us. And so we then sort of started pushing down this route of news and journalism and sort of the idea of selling out just for ratings and sort of the impact that could have.
Yeah, and then we kind of like looked at our kind of characters. It kind of stemmed a lot from there. So kind of like what we wanted to see in the characters that we wanted to act out ourselves.
I think we did a lot of character work just based on like characters we like in specific films or TV shows, and we just kind of mushed them all together to create our like ideal characters in the scenario of the newsroom.
It's funny, thought-provoking, and relevant.
I would say, it's rough. Play on what's happening in the world, whilst looking at the controversial sides to both sides of an argument. Currently, like what I'm liking most about it is, I think now that it's turned into the radio play, I am enjoying kind of like creating these soundscapes, creating all these different elements that kind of create a thing, like adding like the simple noises, such as a chair moving in the background or someone making a cup of coffee as well, which it's kind of all these little things that I'm enjoying to create myself, I'd say.
We're realising that some of the themes that we discuss and some of the things we talk about in it are so relevant now, so I feel like it's the kind of play that could be used whenever and still be relevant.
Well, I think I really enjoyed the writing process of it, sort of just because it was really focused and it was fast, and I really enjoyed that, just sort of, going away each week and I'd sort of write 2 or 3 scenes and I'd bring it back and then rewrite and sort of add new stuff, and I really enjoyed just how focused that process was.
Yes.
Next question.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously going from, so obviously we wanted to start off definitely being on stage, but whilst we were kind of developing, as we weren't sure, we thought let's possibly have the radio play as a side thing, which was quite nice to have. But
it was quite refreshing to realise just how well the script worked as a radio play. It works really well, which makes our lives a lot easier.
I've really enjoyed having it split into episodes. That's been really interesting because in episodes you've got that 15-minute or so time frame, so you've got to constantly be interesting. So you cut down sort of the people just sat around talking, you sort of try and stick in more jokes, sort of you raise the stakes.
The only difficult thing about it, like obviously, it's just been kind of collecting, so kind of putting all the lines together. Obviously it's difficult to get lines from 2 different places, and obviously to make sure that the voices are mapping up with the next lines to follow it. So I think that's flowed quite well. It's flowed a lot better than we thought, because that's probably been the hardest bit so far with all of
keeping it sounding like we are in the same room even though we're in 2 completely different locations.
So our show is going to be formed on Fridays at 4:30. So for the next 4 Fridays on the 10th, the 17th, 24th and the 31st of July.